Welcome back, everyone. I'm Akash Joshi. I'm the OR Guru, and today we're going to be talking about nonlinear programming. So what is nonlinear programming? Okay, so let's talk about the optimization strategy for nonlinear programming. So nonlinear programming aims to find a balance between variables that have a nonlinear relationship with one another. Let's talk about the difference between nonlinear relationships and linear relationships. I'm going to give you an example of linear relationship because this is pretty simple. Let's say you're buying bread, right? So one loaf of bread costs about $3, two loaves cost $6, three loaves cost $9, and so on. That's going to stay the same for pretty much every loaf of bread you're going to buy. It's going to maintain $3. So a nonlinear relationship is that there's no constant slope between the two axes. So in the linear relationship, that your two axes would have been loaves of bread and cost. So cost would be $3, $6, $9, and loaves of bread would be 1, 2, 3. The slope would be 3 because for every loaf of bread it would cost $3 extra. So in nonlinear relationships, there is no constant slope. So an example would be like a parabola, an exponential function. So if you were to draw the graph, it would look something like this. And examples of nonlinear relationships include pricing, inventory management, and portfolio optimization, and also economies of scale. I'm going to talk about all of these on the next page. First, let's talk about pricing. The relationship in pricing is between demand and price. As price increases, demand will typically decrease. For example, let's say that you're a car manufacturer and you're going to sell cars. So you have your car and you can either sell it for $1 million or you can sell it for, let's say, something more affordable like $10,000. Well, if you sell for $10,000, you're going to get a lot more people who are going to buy it because it's much more affordable, and therefore your profits will increase. But if you sell it for $1 million, you'll have a smaller market, but you'll also get more money for each car you sell. So when you use nonlinear programming for pricing, what it's trying to do is it's trying to find the balance between demand and price to maximize profits. Okay, next we'll talk about inventory management. So let's say you're organizing an event. You're going to buy fruits from a vendor to sell at your supermarket. If you order a lot of fruits, then the cost per unit is going to decrease, and the inventory cost to maintain the fruits and keep them nice and moist and keep them in the proper conditions for selling fruits, that's going to increase that inventory cost. If you order fewer fruits, then the cost per unit is going to increase because if you buy in bulk, it's typically cheaper. And if you buy less fruits, then the delivery fee is typically going to be higher. So if you order less fruits, the cost per unit is going to increase and the inventory cost is going to decrease because you have less fruits to keep from spoiling. In this scenario, we're trying to balance the ordering and inventory cost. Next, we'll talk about portfolio optimization. This is not a budget allocation problem, which would be linear. You might think that this is a budget allocation problem because we're going to apportion funds into different types of investments, such as stocks, mutual funds, maybe real estate. You would think that this is budget allocation, but it's not because you also have to consider risk, which varies and is nonlinear. And we know risk is nonlinear because the formulas for calculating risk are variance and standard deviation, and these formulas themselves are not natural, they're not linear. In portfolio optimization, we're balancing risk and expected return. Finally, we're going to talk about economies of scale. So an economy of scale is basically a company when they increase production, the cost per unit to make the unit goes down. And this is similar to buying in bulk, because when you buy in bulk, the cost per unit to buy the thing you're buying decreases as you buy more of them. So this is a similar concept, because instead of the amount you're going to buy increasing, the production increases. And in an economy of scale, what we're trying to do is we're trying to balance total production cost and the cost per unit to maximize profits. One thing I want to bring to your attention is that in all of the previous example problems, we're either trying to maximize profits or minimize costs by finding a balance between two variables. This is kind of critical to a nonlinear programming model, and it usually isn't two variables because that's pretty simple. Usually operations, research, analysis typically find balances between multiple variables. And yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.